Hangs POV. I sighed as I walked around the stone halls on my way to my lab. I had some new reposts to do when I heard someone call me. For eyes, I turned to see Levi walk up to me, papers in his hand. "Ya shorty," I teased, which earned a touch from Levi. "Have you seen Cadet and N?" he asked. His eyes stared into mine. No, why had they done something wrong? Concern grew evident within my voice as I looked at the smaller man, my mind wandering with different reasons that Levi would need to speak to them. To Sage, "Calm down, they aren't in trouble, they just left these in the mess hall," Levi said, handing me the few sheets of paper. I took the paper from Levi's hand, giving them a closer look. They had these funny-looking symbols that I had never seen before, or we at the very least didn't recognize them then. The name at the top of the paper was 100% theirs. "Do you know what they are for?" I asked. Curiosity began to bubble within me as they thought of new knowledge. "No shitty glasses, I don't, and I'm going to guess you don't either," Levi said, his gray eyes leaving mine as he took the paper back. "If you find them, tell the brat to come to my office," was all he said before walking off in the direction of his office. I watched as the shorter man left my line of sight before I walked down back to my office, my mind now racing with the possibility of learning something new before I remember I had those reports to do. Once I was finally finished with my reports, I decided to go back and see how Sunny and Bean were doing. Fixing my glasses. I smiled as a few passing cadets and higher UPS before I spotted someone with HC hair walking into the woods with some form of case. They're up to though before going back to the Titans. Why NPOV? You sighed as you finally found some free time after all of your daily duties. I looked at the dark brown case sitting in the corner of my shared room before knowing what I was going to do. I put my jacket on and picked up the case. It was cold out as I watched the leaves turn from their normal green slowly fade into different shades of oranges, reds and browns as summer turned into autumn. Soon I came up to a clearing in the woods behind the scout's base. It looked like no one had been there for some time. I smiled as I placed down the old case onto the damp grass. I heard a click as the cases opened when I stopped. The music sheets weren't there. I could have sworn I had left them in the cases after I was finished with them. Did I leave them in my dorm? No. Surely I wasn't that careless by them. I racked my brain for where I could have left them when it hit me. Last night I was finishing off reports for Captain Levi, which means he most likely has them. I sighed. Well, that's a letter me problem. I picked up the violin and the bow before I started to play. It wasn't anything overly fancy. It was just so I could keep my skill a little as I struggled to find the time to play now that I am in the Scouts. It had been 6 years since I had become a Scout. Time has changed me. I have changed all of us for the better. I think I'm no longer that small, scared little kid I once was. The piece came to an end and I was just about to start another piece when I heard footsteps from behind me. I was quick to place down the violin and bow haphazard back in its case before I hid behind one of the many old oak trees that surrounded the Scout's base. I watched as a telling figure appeared from the clearing. My eyes widened as I saw it was Hange who was standing there. They must have followed me in front of the bases, thought as I watched them look around before their eyes landed upon the case which held my violin. A violin. They spoke, their voice was quiet as they knelt down, taking a closer look at the instrument. "Hello, anyone there?" they called as I held my breath. I could have sworn I heard someone play, they mutter as they placed the violin back into the case before taking another look around the opening. It wasn't long before Hange had walked back off in the direction of the base. I decided to wait a few minutes before I walked back just in case Hange spotted me or heard me even. Time skip. Later that night, NN found themselves walking towards Captain Levi's office. They had turned the corner before accidentally walking into someone. NN braced themselves to fall or even stumble back, but a pair of arms were quick to wrap around their frame. "Whoa. My dear, you alright?" They froze as they looked up to see. "Hange, I'm so sorry, I wasn't paying enough attention to where I was going. I'm okay, thank you. Are you okay though?" They quickly saluted at the squad leader. Hange laughed as they looked down at the cadet. "There's no need to worry, my dear, I'm quite alright, but it's nearly curfew. Where are you off to so late at night?" they asked, now letting the smaller of the two go. "Oh, I think I left something by mistake with Captain Levi. I'm off to see if he still has it," and said, a soft smile gracing their lips as they looked up at Hange. Their smile, Hange thought. Hange watched as the cadet quickly bid them a good night before they left to see Levi. Even though they were in the same squad, N was quiet and tended to stick to themselves when it was possible. Even when they offered to help out with things, Hange was lucky if they got a few words or even a full sentence out of them. This was the most Hange had ever heard them speak. A small smile graced Hange's face as they looked in the direction that you left in. Good night, my dear. Thanks for watching my video. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel so you won't miss anything I post.